station, we are committed to highlighting diverse perspectives and creating safe spaces for meaningful dialogue. We believe that everyone has something unique to bring to these political, economic, social, and cultural conversations, and we don't shy away from the hard conversations about current events. We endeavor to be a beacon of hope and understanding, while boldly challenging listeners to think more deeply about difficult topics that impact us all. With this in mind, our mission statement at KBLA Talk 1580 is simple: to create an inclusive platform that promotes civil discourse through honest dialogue and encourages personal growth among our listeners, so they can become the active agents of change. Our vision is to establish ourselves as the premier radio network with relevant programming across the beloved community, connecting people through shared experiences and collective power for lasting impact beyond these challenging times.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
First and foremost, the things you need to know. When the anxious, preoccupied, and dismissive avoidant attachment styles are reconciling, obviously one of the biggest rites of passage that both need, first and foremost, are the anxious, preoccupied needs reassurance and certainty, and the dismissive avoidant needs safety. They need to feel like they can move at their own pace. It's safety and autonomy, really, and sort of like a theme of control for their ability to get their needs met at the same time. So what you'll see is you have these two attachment styles, and they both sort of have needs that are in a way triggering each other's potential pain points if handled incorrectly. So for example, the anxious can go to the dismissive avoidant and want reassurance, but if they keep asking for something, and if the dismissive avoidant feels afraid of reassuring because they don't know yet how they feel, or they're taking time to figure it out and they need that safety to know that they can move slowly towards it, that asking for reassurance can be triggering for the dismissive avoidant, and they can pull back, and then they get caught in a vicious cycle together, right? Because they've broken up, let's say. And just to be clear as well, it is important to recognize that literally how long you've been together, how long you've been broken up, how long you've known each other, how much of a history you have together. Do you have kids together? Are you married and then separated, or are you together for 3 weeks or are you together for 3 years? You know, there's obviously going to be a big difference between the different like segments of relationships. So in this video, I'm covering like just overarching themes. Okay. So what you'll see as I'm talking about this sort of triggering pattern that takes place is the anxious preoccupied can want the reassurance of like, are we getting back together? Is this moving in the right direction? What's going on? And that can trigger the DA to be like, I don't want to have to be pressured to make a decision right now. I want to know that we can move slowly. I want to know that, and the reason, like the crux of the underlying issue for that, for the DA, is the dismissive avoidant wants to move slowly because they want to be able to open up slowly and not feel like vulnerability and investment and commitment and these things they fear have to happen all at once right now. And I want you to think of like anything that you're afraid of. Okay. Think of something that you're afraid of. And let's say it's not like an unhealthy thing. Let's say it's not like, oh, I'm afraid of being in a toxic relationship. Like that's a justified fear. Let's just say a fear that's kind of random. It doesn't have any like specific context. Maybe you're afraid of public speaking. Okay. And we know that that's a fear, but we know that we want to move in that direction because it can better our career. It can better our lives. It can help us progress. It's an area that we want to grow into. Well, when you try to take somebody and you put them in that position to say, go public speak right now in front of 10,000 people, go, you know, that we get the most resistance to that. We shut down the most around that. And one of the best things you can do when you're trying to work somebody through a fear is expose them incrementally to their fear over time and then help them build confidence each time they have that exposure. And it's a form of reprogramming tool. It's like exposure.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's back in the building. He's live and in color. The voice of reason. Yes, I took yesterday off. I just needed to take a deep breath, man, and see the ocean. You know. Eat some food I've never eaten before. You know, yesterday I had lobster. And I didn't like it. I was trying to be fancy. The voice of reason back in the building.
What did it taste like? Please tell me, because I hate lobster too. I had it one time when I was young, and just haven't been a big fan. But I know a lot of people that love it, so it's funny to hear your opinion on it.
I did not like it one bit.
What's the texture like?
It was rubbery. It was, yeah, man. It was rubbery, spongy. It tastes like ocean water. It just, ugh.
Is it like jelly like?
No. I just, it took me by surprise. I was like, wow. Hey, but guess what? I'm back. The voice of reason, ready to get you thinking about things, okay? You already know this platform is designed to foster discussions that expand our perceptions of how we relate. And as a wounded healer, a damaged soul, and in many of my relationships, a broken man, these topics are cathartic for me. And I hope that they are cathartic for you. And I hope that you would sincerely call in and share your stories, because as I've described and explained in future in past shows, this is a non-judgmental space, a non-judgmental environment. And oftentimes we get burned because people call in and they really let loose. I'm not going to judge you for your perspective, but I do ask that you do not curse when you call in. This is AM terrestrial radio. No profanity on my airwaves. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody say what's up, what's up, what's up. I see the chat room is in there. All right, tonight's topic, reconcile. Sometimes it's a wreck. Sometimes you can't reconcile a wreckage. Ooh-wee. What are the potential setbacks and benefits of reconciling with an ex? Now, yesterday, when I was on my brief hiatus, this topic came up at the dinner table, and basically a sister who's a lawyer, she was like, I want you to cover this on your show. And we talked about it a little bit. And I was like, you know what? As soon as I go home, I'm going to write this whole topic. So that's what we did. Reconcile. What are the potential setbacks and or benefits of reconciling with an ex? What does successful rebounding look like to two people who have broken up? And I'm talking about rebounding together, not getting into a rebound relationship, which is another topic, but I'm talking about rebounding together. How do you pick up the pieces? Where do you start? Right? How can partners rebuild trust after, right, the relationship has broken apart for whatever reason it broke apart for? 1-800-920-1580, that's the number to dial. What are the crucial steps in processing emotions and healing wounds that were caused by the breakup? And how do you guys get past that in order to rebuild the relationship? I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say about this. I want to know what led to your breakup in your previous relationship. And how can each of you, or how have each of you grown since the breakup? Right? Have you changed? In what ways have you changed? 1-800-920-1580. Get in here. I want to hear your stories. Should you get back together? When do you look at a partner as not worth the trouble? Ooh. When do you look at a partner as, hey, we went through hell, I was hurt, I was disappointed, but they're too good to let go? What are the differentiating factors? I want to know. Right? How can both partners ensure they have a clear understanding of the reasons behind why they desire to reconcile? Why do you want to get back? For what purpose? What are you in it for? Right? And on a higher level, what level of commitment, acceptance, and willingness are you willing to bring to the table? Because a rebuild requires acceptance, right? Willingness, forgiveness, compassion, empathy. See, these are the questions people should be asking when they say, what are you bringing to the table? Because if those things weren't present in the relationship's previous breakdown, in order for the reconciliation to actually work, those things must be present in the rebuild. Who's interested in rebuilding? 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, the voice of reason going to the phone lines.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action is the youth component of the impactful CBO, known as the Community Coalition. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action has chapters at almost every South LA high school. Say Yeah, as they are popularly known, is located at 80th and Vermont, but serves young people all over South LA. Under the COCO umbrella, they train youth organizers, help underserved scholars prepare for college, and work with students to help them gain admission to top universities. South Central Youth Empowered Through Action fosters teen activism, where young people have led campaigns moving tens of millions of dollars to South LA schools and forcing officials to make AP classes available to students in under-resourced institutions. SCES scholars have taken part in the March on Washington, been published in major news outlets, and been elected to city council. Long before she was mayor, Karen Bass started the program when she founded the Community Coalition. To donate, volunteer, or enroll a student in South Central Youth Empowered Through Action, please visit cocsouthla.org. cocsouthla.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm James Alexander, a proud member of AARP. 1967, I was 17. That spring, my friends, the Barcades, and I made Soul Finger. It was a hit. Number 3 on the charts. That summer, we became the great Otis Redding's band. First gig, the famed Apollo. That fall, we toured. That winter found me in a morgue identifying the bodies of my bandmates and Otis Redding. My music and their memories bring me joy. The Barcades forever.
What would you call a joy that is as solemn as it is sweet and knows no bounds? A joy that's beautifully rooted in soul and resilience. This is Black joy, a joy that reflects pride and honor despite every challenge. AARP believes the power of Black joy is limitless, and we celebrate this joy supreme. Join us in celebrating Black joy at aarp.org/blackcommunity.
To my hometown, my community. Some of you have known me my whole life. Do you notice anything different about the kids in the neighborhood? Ever paid attention? We might start with gifts, money, attention. These are signs. Child trafficking is happening right here in this town. So don't just watch through the window. Pay attention. Because the more we know, the more we'll all know to say no. Learn the signs to look for and how to help at no-to-say-no.com.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Frankie Beverly and May. Summertime in Los Angeles, Leimert Park. You know what we do here. KBLA Talk 1580. The voice of reason is on fire tonight. And of course, my playlist is my co-host. You already know the legendary Frankie Beverly and Mays. We on fire tonight. Yes. So tonight's topic is a heater. One that was given to me. Reconciliation. Oh gosh, many of us are wrecks. And so we wreck the reconciliation. How do you step back in ready to make things work? Ready to make things go? Now, as far as setbacks go, if you get with your ex, one of the major setbacks that can actually that can wreck the reconciliation process is the reopening of old wounds and unresolved issues from the previous relationship. There has to be a commitment to walk away from what hurt, what disappointed, what frustrated, what dissatisfied, and there has to be a commitment on pouring into things or activities that actually circumvent, what happened in the past or what didn't happen in the past. All right? another setback, the risk of falling back into unhealthy patterns and behaviors. So there has to be an assessment process of just looking at, okay, this is how I used to think. This is what I thought was a good choice. And actually, it's not a good choice. This is how the choice in the past negatively affected my partner. So there has to be kind of an inventory taken so you can kind of understand what the unhealthy patterns and behaviors within yourself might be. Now, this is for both partners to do on themselves, not the other way around. Meaning, you're not supposed to really look at your partner and be like, yo, this is a negative behavior that you have and you should fix it. I think the partner is responsible for detecting it. The partner is responsible for correcting it. Now, your partner can suggest things, but I don't think they should be in the driver's seat when it comes to your healing process. So then there's that. There's uncertainty and doubts about whether the issues that caused the breakup can be resolved. The reason why there's doubts is because I don't believe people have real enough conversations to actually unpeel the onion, the issue, like the elephant in the room. Let's sit down and really talk about it, right? If the love is real, good. Okay, we got love. So if love is on our team, that's like having Jordan, Kobe, Magic, Shaq, everybody on the same squad. So if you've got the love, now you have to find the patience to be able to sit down and have these conversations about the uncertainty that fear brings, right? The fear of, hey, we might fall back into old issues. Well, let's really iron out and talk about these issues and talk about our mindset and talk about, our perspective as it pertains to those issues. Then there's the potential resistance or skepticism from friends and family who may be concerned about the reconciliation. So I'm a lover of friends and family, right? I love friends and family. We got crew, you got crew. My crew is your crew, right? I don't have a problem with that. But I do feel that there should be a limitation on how much information is dispersed amongst friends and family about your personal relationship. Like, if you guys got issues, let's go to a therapist. Let's go to a spiritualist. Let's go do something together to work this thing out. I think what happens is when we slip up and start bringing other folk and their opinions into the relationships, they can contaminate or warp our perspective of our partner. And I think that's dangerous because you never know the intention behind the person. Now, in some cases, the intent is really about their person, meaning if you're consulting your mom or your aunt or your friends, sometimes their intention is solely for you. They don't care about the relationship. They don't care about the other person. They're advising you about you, right? But then sometimes you run into problems with that as well because the person advising you might be jealous because you got somebody. And they could very well have somebody, but they might see your somebody as better than the somebody they got. So they might be sliding, negative words just to get you out of a situation. And or if they're single and they're mad because their relationships don't really work out, they might be sliding you salty information because they salty, right? Emotional vulnerability, right? And the need for both partners to confront past hurts and betrayal. Listen, this is par for the course if you're dealing with reconciliations, right? Now, those were the setbacks. Here are the benefits. The opportunity for growth and personal development for both partners in a reconciliation. We could do this differently. We can do this better. We can reinvest ourselves in love. We can understand our attachment styles, right? We can, You understand what I'm saying? We can read more. We can meditate more. We can practice mindfulness. We can practice reading together. We can practice praying together. There's so many ways to grow up after rekindling a relationship. Rekindling a deep emotional connection and shared history that may have brought joy and happiness in the past. Listen, what made you happy? If it ain't broke, don't try to fix it. Focus on it. Many people are trying to fix what didn't work and ignoring what did. Sometimes you got to go back to basics and pour right into what was working. Right? And if what was working was laughing, enjoying each other's company, watching movies together, talking, sharing perspectives, all that. Let's keep pouring into that. Okay? Are y'all listening? Right? Another benefit, the potential to build a stronger and more mature relationship based on lessons learned from the previous breakup. Listen, a breakup is rich with spiritual minerals that you can go back and mine and develop and cultivate for this new version of what has passed before. I call it the Phoenix effect. Do you want the Phoenix effect in your relationship? Reestablishing trust and intimacy, knowing that both partners have chosen to give the relationship another chance. Trust me, this can work if you pour into the positive aspects of what brought you guys back or what brought you guys together in the first place. And then the potential to create new and positive memories together while appreciating the value of the relationship in a different light. Listen, it's something about the championship ring after you've gone through hell. It's something about winning a championship after you had to fight off injuries, after you had to fight off controversies, after you had to fight off lies, after you had to fight off all types of negativity, all types of fear and angst. It's something about winning the ring that makes it all worth the while, where you go, wow, I knew we had this potential. All we had to do was mine it. See, we live in a microwave society that thinks we're supposed to get what we want without challenge. No, sometimes life slaps you upside the face. Your spirit face. Sometimes life hits you in the head because life wants to knock something out of it to make room for something else more beneficial to come in. When I come forward, the voice of reason is going to the phone lines. Should you rebuild or jet?
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Governor Pritzker is pushing an effort to combat homelessness in Illinois. Pritzker says homelessness isn't just an economic justice issue, but a racial justice issue as well. Pritzker signed a bill yesterday aiming to move Illinois to functional zero homelessness by bolstering the safety net, targeting high-risk populations. And the report says San Francisco does not have the highest rate of homelessness in California. The report released Wednesday shows Oakland and Los Angeles have more people experiencing homelessness than San Francisco. New Jersey's first West Nile virus case this summer is confirmed in Camden County. A Winslow Township resident tested positive for West Nile on July 17th. Health officials aren't releasing details, but the CDC says the mosquito-borne illness can trigger serious illness and in some cases death. And that is the latest. I'm Doug Davis from the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Need an accident attorney by your side? All you got to do is call the Accident Guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? The Accident Guys can come to you almost anywhere, so you don't have to come to us. Se habla español.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Boldly taking talk radio where it has never gone before. New vistas, new voices, new views, new visions, new victories. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we're taking public media black.
I'm Dominique DePrima. We can all fall into the trap of mindlessly spending sometimes. I know I do it. But one tip for staying on track is when you have an impromptu purchase that comes up, try making a habit of taking a quick look at your bank account balance before you buy it. It's not just about seeing how much you have in your checking account. Just looking at your account might put the urge to make that impulse purchase into perspective and help you make better choices that'll benefit you for the long term. Whatever your financial goals, U.S. Bank Access Commitment Initiatives can help support you in reaching them. Access your financial goals at usbank.com/access. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Girl, I have a secret. When I get stressed out, I get sweaty. That's why I use Secret Clinical Antiperspirant. It's like my own secret weapon. For 72 hours, I get Secret's strongest protection against sweat caused by stress, heat, and activity, because you know how crazy life can get. Plus, it's made with advanced odor fighters that don't just cover up smelliness. They help prevent it from happening in the first place. Believe me, if I weren't wearing Secret, I'd be a hot, smelly mess. Thankfully, Secret works.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Roll Charmin ultra strong when you drop in the beat. It cleans with way less effort on your seat. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Yeah, roll it, drop it. Charmin flows extra strong from the road. Your butt hella clean while you're sitting on the bowl. Yeah, it's all you need for that bathroom groove. Get you in and out without nothing to prove.
Charmin Ultra Strong cleans better so you can use less. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
KBLA Talk 1580 stands for Unity and Healing. African Focus Incorporated is a nonprofit organization based in California that focuses on the growth and well-being of Africans all around the world. Their mission is to promote the well-being of people of African descent through knowledge and appreciation of one another by building a bridge of love and understanding. African Focus Incorporated strives for cultural, educational, and economic growth. They're the organization behind the African Family Induction Ceremony, African Goodwill Awards, African Focus Trailblazer Tours, African Dance Competition, and Showcase Los Angeles, Family Day, Good News Windows Microfinance Project, and more. To volunteer, travel with African Focus, or to attend one of their community building events, please call 310-676-7730. That's 310-676-7300. Or visit africanfocus.org. This is a diaspora-wide community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I got the letter and I said, okay, I have to do this. And I'm trying to prepare my mind, get everything squared away. And I was taking the train home at the time. So I'm sitting there on the train trying to collect my thoughts. I'm crying. I said, this has to be done.
You're crying on the train?
Yeah, I was crying. Nobody wants to do that. That's not a fun thing to say, okay, after 3.5 years, this is over, but it had to be done. So I ended up, I called my parents. I said, hey, I'm going out to see Joy. And I told my mom what was going to happen. So we go out, or I drive out, and I invite her into the room, and I just said, hey, I think this is it. And I was bawling while the whole time while we were breaking up, because it's one of those things you didn't want to do, but it had to be done.
It had to be done.
We just could not grow in a positive light any further in our current capacity.
Yeah.
So we broke up, and that was in September 2011, and I was excited for the first probably month. I was yes.
Living life. So the very first day we talked that morning, I was on my way to work. We talked and he was, checking in on me. You okay? And I was like, yeah, I think it was for the best. Everything's fine. I was fine that one day. The day after that, tears. I mean, I would be walking up a stairwell and be like, oh my God. I was devastated.
The ugly,
yeah.
bad.
But I would not contact him, nothing. But I was distraught because it was that thing where going back to when I said there was a knowing, I knew that I was supposed to marry this person. But I also heard it like that. I heard it that he would be my person, but not as he was. He would have to be a different version of himself. I didn't know that. And I even predicted our breakup. Remember I predicted our age? I knew, but it did not make the reality any easier. So I was distraught for about the first month. And
men and women have this natural tendency to just flip after breakups. And men, as soon as it's over, let's celebrate, let's go out, let's go on other dates, let's just have fun. And I would be able to live out my dream. And that lasted for about a month.
Ladies and gentlemen, it can work. What can work? Reconciliation. Sometimes the first iteration of your relationship is for the revelation of what makes you two broken people. Sometimes the first version of your relationship is designed to reveal what each of you need to work on, what each of you need to heal. Oftentimes, karmic relationships bring these revelations to us. Twin flames, soulmates, whatever, soul ties, whatever. Oftentimes, these lessons are brought to you by these potential relational vehicles. And sometimes, the relationship is destined to crash and burn because there are things coming up that must be dealt with not by your partner, but by you. Right? And then after some time, after the breakup, you heard them say, the couple there in the clip, you heard them say, this was something that had to happen. See, people don't understand. Relationship is a spiritual journey where the inner workings of yourself, this is how you gain self-knowledge, self-awareness, self-consciousness. The inner workings of that is constantly unfolding. See, you think, because I done heard people say a whole bunch of times, when are the lessons over? Never. The lessons are never over. There's never going to be a time you're not learning about yourself for as long as you're living. Oh, well, I'm tired of the lessons. I done had enough lessons. I want some leisure time. Well, you got to earn that spiritually in order to have the healthy relationship you want. And what I find is many people aggrandize, myself included, many people aggrandize just how advanced we actually are. Really, most of us are spiritual zygotes. We're not even infants yet. We are spiritual zygotes. We're still a splitting cell. Trying to figure our way out in the universe. And we get into these relationships and we got demands and expectations. You're supposed to be like this. This is how you're supposed to. I'm trying to tell you, you should go into that relationship with a composition book looking for all the ways you show up. All right, let's get it. We got callers on the line. Who's been on the longest? Mimi from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hey, Joe. Hey, everyone.
What up, Mimi?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I think this is a great topic, and I would say that I'm torn. I think that reconciliation can be good for some people, but I do think that you have to grow and change and, you know, can't be stuck in what you were. But for me, my first love, my first real love, we attempted to get back together, reconcile. We were young, you know, and I loved him, you know, I loved him a lot. And, you know, he was what I wanted. And, yes, I'm going to say it, everyone. You already know he was tall. He was what I... Let's just get it out of the way.
Go ahead.
He was tall. He was big. He was what I liked, but he had a good heart, you know. And we weren't perfect. And so we broke up young. A few years later, we, you know, attempted to get back together. I mean, I felt like I was really a woman because I was older and mature, and I thought I knew everything. He was still tall and big and what I liked, but we were different people.
Yes.
I don't know what it's like. This thing, I don't know. I like shorter men are very sexy to me, but it's about, I don't know. Maybe it's like this. I don't. It must be an issue, a fetish. But taller men just really do it for me.
Okay.
Off
Mimi.
topic. I'm just saying.
Clearly, but okay, Mimi. Put it.
And we had changed. And I just thought we would be able to just click back into what we were, but I think, couldn't. It didn't.
But let me just say this. I think sometimes that's the problem, clicking back into what you were. Right? You have to remember what you used to be contains the work that you need to do. So you don't want to become what you were. You want to become an enhanced version of what you used to be. And the only way to do that is you have to go inside and work on self. How could I have been a better partner? How could I have shown more love? What are the top 3 things that I did that led to the demise of the relationship? What are my top 3 character flaws, right? And how does this exacerbate my relationship with someone else? For you have to do this kind of work. You can't say, oh, I want to come back together because there's an opportunity for us to be in proximity. You have to say, I want to come back together because there's an opportunity here because I've become better. I've worked on something. And I can see that you've worked on something. That's when you get back together. Stay with us. When we come forward, more from Mimi out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
The Youth Forward organization calls for a cannabis candy ban for products they say target children. I'm Aisha Cairo with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. Mid-July, a coalition of groups committed to raising awareness about cannabis products that look like candy called on Governor Newsom to enact a cannabis candy ban. Youth Forward, an organization working to shape cannabis policy, is leading the charge with a petition to direct tax revenues from marijuana into youth and community reinvestment programs. The Cannabis Candy Child Safety Act, Assembly Bill 1207, passed the Assembly with a 61-0 vote in May. The bill aims to prevent children from consuming cannabis products by regulating packaging and advertising. It is currently under review in the Senate Appropriations Committee. KBLA listeners, what are your thoughts on this one? Let us know on our social platforms on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like Sprinklers in the Rain and Leaky Faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on. K-Drip.
Have you heard about Lendistry? Lendistry is a national Black-led small business lender that is headquartered right here in LA. Once you've started your business, Lendistry provides flexible financing options starting at $50,000 to help you access the affordable capital needed to grow. Visit lendistry.com/KBLA to learn more.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for voting rights. When We All Vote is a leading national nonpartisan initiative on a mission to change the culture around voting and to increase participation in each and every election by helping to close the race and age gap. Created by Michelle Obama, When We All Vote brings together individuals, institutions, brands, and organizations to register new voters across the country and advance civic education for the entire family and voters of every age to build an informed and engaged electorate for today and generations to come. When We All Vote empowers their supporters and volunteers to take action through voting, advocating for their rights, and holding their elected officials accountable. Please visit whenweallvote.org to stand up for your rights, voting rights. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
You is such a lonely ride. The breakup we had has made me lonesome and sad. I realize I love you 'cause I want you back.
I spent the evening with the radio. Regret the moment that I let you go. Our quarrel was such a way of learning so much. I know now that I love you 'cause I need your touch. Reunited and it feels so good. Reunited 'cause we understood. There's one perfect fit and sugar, this one is it. We both are so excited 'cause we're reunited.
Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is my co-host. The voice of reason is on fire tonight. And our phone lines are on fire. You already know my playlist is my co-host. That's Peaches and Herb, Reunited. Classic record from the late 70s. Great record on reconciliation, man. Reconciliation does take a spirit of willingness. Does take a spirit of acceptance. Does take a spirit of compassion. Does take a spirit of empathy. Does take a spirit of commitment. Very heavy topic tonight, man. We on fire tonight. This is good stuff. Mimi from Jacksonville was on the line. Mimi, please finish your thought. Wrap it up for us.
I've learned that sometimes you just can't go back, or if you do, you both have to do your work. I mean, because me personally, I've grown, I've changed. He grew and he changed, but if you're going to make that move to try to reconcile, do your work.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to. I mean, Lord have mercy. I don't think I'm going to go there.
No. And it's quite all right. But just know, whatever work that was for you to do in the last relationship will be for you to do in the next one.
Yeah.
And what I find is people throw good people away. Let's just keep it a buck. Sometimes a lot of people want something new because they're bored with what they had. A lot of times, some people want something new because they had this, listen to what I'm about to tell you. They had this unrealistic image of who they thought their partner was supposed to be to them. Right? See, a lot of times we can't get over what they did to us because we couldn't believe they did it in the first place. But again, just like those two people in the clip we played earlier, they said this had to break. The way we were as people in this, it had to break down. And we needed that as a catapult to push us and propel us forward. He did his work, she did her work, and they found that they were meant to be. Do you know how many meant to be's don't get to see the day of light? Because you're bored, you're angry, you're unforgiven, you haven't given forgiveness, you don't give understanding. Do you understand what I'm saying? You'd rather start the lesson over than take the ingredients from the ashes of what was burnt. Oh, you don't want to hear that, do you? You don't want to hear that, do you?
Yeah, I'm listening. I hear you.
See, that's all I'm saying. Anybody can start over. Anybody can find somebody new.
Okay.
But what you can't do is get something new that won't renew your commitment to what you need to work on. Every relationship is going to make you come back to, oh, wow, you thought you didn't have to do that work because you got a new person? You thought you don't need to be empathetic? You thought you don't need to be loving? You thought you didn't need to be nurturing? You thought your attachment style was going to self-correct once you got a new situation? No. So whether you stay or go, the work is coming with you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what I'm getting out of what you're saying is do the work, and I still have this number, right? 6'5". I should give him a third time? Is that what I'm getting?
No, listen to what I'm telling you now. Listen to what I'm telling you. I believe in the organics of things. I don't believe in the forcing of things. You see? The organics. I'm not saying, oh, let me reach out again. Who's to say? Was the brother abusive? Was he violent? Did he steal? Huh?
No.
Okay then. What did he do that made you go, oh, let me get out of here forever? Was he your friend?
You know what he did.
He cheated.
Yeah.
Okay. That's enough?
Yeah, that's enough.
That's why I tell people. That's what we were talking about last night. Cheating is enough. Okay.
No, I can't. You know,
no.
I can't.
Don't renege. Don't renege. You said you got 7 books. You got a blind 7. You're going to have to go with that.
Oh, God.
Don't renege.
Why do you always make me look, goofy?
No.
On the air?
No, to each his own. For some people, that's enough. I'm not going to condemn you for that. If that's what you believe for you, then that's what you believe for you.
I just think I have a fetish with tall men, but that's what I think I have, like a problem. And I need to, that's what it is. I need a healthy relationship, but I think I have a fetish.
But see, this is my point. You haven't worked on what is yours to work on. This is listen, at the end of the day, if you give him a third chance, you won't be giving him a third chance because he's a better person. You're giving him a third chance because he's Mr. Goodbar.
You're right.
Now, see, you want to make it about him, but it's really about you and your nastiness. But that's okay. Listen, we all human beings. We all want to do the nasty. We want to get nasty up in here. See, that's what it is. You freaky deaky.
Oh, God.
That's what it is. You freaky deaky. Huh?
I would say that. I mean, it's healthy to like sex, but I would say I'm freaky.
Andy wants to say
First off, Zoe, I appreciate you for what you just said. Mimi, I appreciate your vulnerability. I don't know if you've touched it on the show before, but the reality of just the desire of sex and how that just distorts everything. I think sometimes that prevents us from doing that spiritual work because of that desire for sex that we want.
Sure. A lot of people don't have sexual discipline.
You're right, Andy. You're right, Zoe. But sometimes it's more than just regular sex. It's like
it's Zoe sex.
Incredible. So there's a difference.
Hey. So he put that magic stick on you, and it just changed your whole situation. Get ready. He said, "Come here, Mimi. Let me show you what this thing is all about." Put his hands on them hips and just yanked you. Lord have mercy. Thank you, Mimi. We appreciate the call. You brought Jacksonville, Florida in the building. The Voice of Reason is on fire tonight. When to rebuild or shake the spot. That's what we're talking about tonight on The Voice of Reason. Trust me, we got a lot to talk about.
And give you what you want so you